是我们会用爱来守护立院，坚持和平，守护法案的决心。今天委员会的法案审查，只是同志彩虹路上的中途站。
I'm Hannah Fazio. I'm a 2016-2017 Fulbright Research Fellow, and my host institution in Taiwan is Sherxin University, and I'm at the Graduate Institute for Gender Studies. I'm looking at the movement to legalize same-sex marriage. So in 2001, the Netherlands was the first country to legalize same-sex marriage, and since then, 21 other countries in North America, and Latin America, and Europe have legalized same-sex marriage, but no country in Asia has yet to do so. So political pundits think that Taiwan will be the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. And in terms of results, it's a really critical time to be here during the marriage equality movement. The Supreme Court here next week is going to announce whether or not they're going to hear the first same-sex marriage case, and so it's a very historical moment. And in terms of when I first got to Taiwan in late October, early November, legislators from the DPP, KMT, NPP parties all introduced their own respective marriage equality bills. And right now, one of the marriage equality bills has already gone past the first reading. It needs to go through 3 readings for a bill to become a law here in Taiwan. It needs to, at this point, go through cross-party negotiations before going on to the second reading. It's currently not on the DPP agenda to talk about this legislative term. Other domestic issues such as labor reform and pension reform have taken precedence, but the bill has not been dropped. People here are really mobilized. It's not really a topic that people privately talk about in their living room or kitchen, but instead people are really civically engaged. They're calling their legislators, they're lobbying their legislators, they're going out onto the streets and demonstrating. It's a really divisive and hot topic right now. To illustrate this example, I observed a pro-marriage equality rally on December 10th, 2016. And over 250,000 people came out to show their support for marriage equality in Taiwan. It's one of the largest gatherings of people we've seen since the Sunflower Movement in 2013. And then the week before that, the opposition camp also had their own rally against marriage equality, and people from all over Taiwan gathered in the capital city here in Taipei in opposition to marriage equality. So people are out in the streets, people are openly discussing this issue. And so I think right now the 2018 mayoral elections and the 2020 presidential elections coming up are going to be pivotal and critical to how this marriage equality movement will unfold. Absolutely. Going off the last question, what I'm most proud of is the network I've built, the community I've built. And I think one of those outcomes is I helped found a bilingual LGBT social commentary and lifestyle blog called Queeriest Taiwan. We have a really diverse core team. So when I was here doing my research, I noticed that there was a huge gap in the way that Western media and local media were reporting on the marriage equality movement in terms of tone and nuance. And I also, when I was doing my research, noticed that there was huge gaps between the local and the foreign rainbow community here in Taiwan. And so I wanted to do something to bridge those gaps. I also wanted to create a platform. I heard so many moving stories when I was doing this research project, stories of hope, talking to the parents of LGBTQ people, activists, everyday people, and I wanted to create this platform for people to share their own stories. And so that's what Queeriest Taiwan aims to do, to fill all of these gaps and to create a platform for storytelling. And I think that's very much part of the Fulbright mission. One big takeaway for me is how civically engaged so many Taiwanese people are. There's a huge voter turnout rate here in Taiwan, and even on my research topic issue, marriage equality, so many people, whether they supported or were against marriage equality, would lobby their legislators, would go out and demonstrate in the street. We're not afraid to have a debate about their opinions. We're not afraid to talk about the issue. So just seeing how civically engaged people were was quite meaningful and something that I'm going to take away with me.
正确的一方，不要不停地让自己成为改革的阻力。同时，我们在这里，我们高度肯定时代力量党团愿意坚持修正民法的正确方向，
I spent the summer here in 2010 at a Bunang Aboriginal Cultural Foundation up in the mountains outside of Taiwan, and I waitressed in their coffee shop. So very different experience to what I experienced this year. But it was my first introduction to Taiwan. I fell in love with Taiwan, and I really got to know a lot of the Bunang tribe members as well, the ones I was working with. And one of them came out and told me that she was a lesbian and she hadn't told anyone else in her tribe. And so back then I started thinking, oh, can same-sex couples get married? What happens if you come out in Taiwanese society? What will the reaction be? And so the seeds for this project really got planted in that summer. And it wasn't until now, 7 years later, that I had the opportunity to come back to Taiwan and further pursue this research. And it really worked out in terms of timing and everything that's unfolding with the marriage equality movement. And so I couldn't have been luckier with the time and place for this project. And so I do feel like I accomplished what I wanted to this year, and I really recommend that if given the opportunity, people apply for Fulbright. It's been one of the most life-changing years of my life.